Welcome to How to Gym, the series where I break down all the stuff no one actually teaches you, but everyone expects you to know. In this video, I'm going to show you the 6 mistakes you need to stop making and what to do instead so you can finally build confidence, strength, and make real progress. Number 1, you need to stop relying on motivation. Motivation will not carry you forward. I want you to think about motivation like starting a new Netflix series. You're still trying to figure out whether it's going to be worth hours and hours of your time. Don't use your first couple of weeks as a judgment of the long-term progress and success you could have. Honestly, probably your first few months in the gym, they're going to feel clumsy, messy, awkward. You're probably going to be really sore and you're going to question why you should continue. I promise you that's going to happen. And also, it's the point. Everything feels hard before it gets easy. And that's the beautiful thing about fitness. There's no shortcuts, there's no quick fixes. And if you always rely on motivation, or whether you feel like it, you will never build this into a lifestyle that's sustainable. Instead, you need to learn to play the long game. Motivation follows momentum, not the other way around. You need to take action and then you will feel motivated. That's how this whole journey works. Something I always teach our clients about is the motivation dip. And you have absolutely experienced this. And it's going to get you if you don't expect it. Anytime you start something new, you're going to have an initial kick of motivation. That's probably going to be there for about 4 to 6 weeks. Hello, every 6-week challenge. The industry has learnt this too. This is when you're going to want to quit and you're going to want to go back to what you were doing, back to your comfort zone. What most people don't realize is you need to get through this motivation dip because on the other side is where progress lies. Progress doesn't happen inside your comfort zone. Now, what most people do when they go through a motivation dip is they change the plan. You do not want to do this. You need to fight this. And it's the second most common mistake, which is going off plan and simply winging it in the gym. If you're going to start something, you need to commit to it. Results take time. And instead of just program hopping, where you start something and then the next week you're doing something else and then you're back at Pilates and then group fitness and you're going for a run and then you're in the gym and you're doing hypertrophy and glutes 2.0. Like, don't do that because you'll stop making progress. Building muscle, building strength, and even losing body fat, they usually happen in months and years to sustain it. Now, I don't want to put you off by saying the timeline is very long because we want to stay focused, but you do need to learn to be consistent and build that muscle up. So instead of hitting save on every glute workout that you see on social media, you need to follow a progressive plan. If you're just getting started in the gym, 3 workouts a week, 30 to 45 minutes is all that you need. The amount of clients that come into coaching with us, they want to lose 10 kilos or they want to become consistent or build strength and they're not doing anything in the gym and their first thing is, I want to go to the gym 5 days a week. No way. We are setting you up for failure by doing that. You don't have to work as hard as what you think. If you're being inconsistent, you're already working like 100% harder than what you need to. You're just working really hard in the wrong direction because you will achieve so much more if you hit the mark 3 days a week all year than if you go 100% for 6 months and then do nothing, which is what most people do. Instead of asking what's the most that I can do, I want you to ask, what is the minimum effective dose that I can commit to right now? No more. Fight that all or nothing thinking and go to the minimum. Because if you can achieve more by doing less, why would we not want that? This is why I actually created the Women's Health Movement training app. It has hundreds of programs and workouts that are designed in a really intelligent way. And more importantly, it's a progressive plan for you to follow. No more showing up at the gym, guessing what you should be doing, or following useless social media workouts. Just sign up to the app and pick the program that works for you and stick to it. Number 3, stop rushing and stop ego lifting. More weight on the bar means nothing if your form sucks. In my first few years of training, I was actually experiencing a lot of back pain and a lot of troubles with my barbell back squats, to the point where it got so bad that I actually sought out an in-person strength and conditioning coach to help me work through it. Not only did he fix my technique, but he also taught me an incredibly important lesson that I will never forget: how to move with intent and respect the weight on the bar. Think about it for a moment. How do you treat someone that you genuinely respect? You listen to them, you slow down, you take your time, and you pay attention. Everything the opposite of what you do when you ego lift. You rush through it, you bounce around, you don't take your time at all. If you're not getting stronger, you've hit a plateau, you're not building muscle, you're not building strength, this is probably one you should pay attention to. Ego lifting will keep you stuck, but it's your pride that you need to challenge, because it's not about how much weight you have on the bar, it's about how much progress you're making. I actually look at the gym and I'm like, you probably need to take some weight off of the bar and actually hit full depth. You need to focus on these 3 core things: a smooth tempo, clean technique, and gradual progression. Now, you might be thinking, how will I even know if I'm ego lifting? And there's a couple of very important things that you can keep an eye on. The first one is something called your range of motion. You're not squatting to full depth. It's a sign that you need to pull the weight back. Secondly, if you notice that your technique is turning to rubbish, that is definitely a sign that you need to pull the weight back. And the third one is monitoring your weights. Because if you're adding like 10 kilograms to the bar every week, like that's got to stop. It's too much. Don't expect to always be able to add weight to the bar. Number 4, stop skipping progress tracking. Now, everyone avoids the data that they do not like to see. We all do it. It's why you don't weigh yourself after a big weekend. You cannot apply progressive overload and make improvements over time if you're not logging your data. It's not obsessive, it's essential. When I first started tracking my training, I honestly thought it was just about logging my weights and writing down some numbers and collecting information. But over time, I really learned that it's so much more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's precious information that's teaching you to learn how to make progress, because what's measured is managed. It's telling you how your body is responding to the plan, to the weights that you're using, and your technique and form in the gym. If you're not getting stronger, for example, something's going on. Data in the gym is not just sets, reps, and weights. Over time, you can start looking at other data points. So for example, you can start filming some of your exercises to see how they look. Another one is just essentially writing notes. And this is honestly something that we get most of our clients to do. Comment on how the exercise felt. One week, 100 kilos can feel as smooth as butter, and the next week, it's like running into a brick wall. If you're only tracking just the weight that you use, it can be quite deflating if you're feeling a little bit more tired, energy's low, maybe you're due for a period, or maybe the rep range has changed. Progressing in the gym and collecting data and using data as feedback is so much more than just numbers if you know how to use it. Number 5, stop falling for fancy exercises. The amount of rubbish that you see on social media these days of like people balancing on Bosu balls for like no reason, or these ridiculous combination exercises, which all movement is good movement. But you're watching this because you want to make progress and you want to break free from all the fads and social media clickbait content that's out there. And trust me, it's rife at the moment. Everyone wants to come up with a brand new exercise or something that you can click, save, and share. It is going to get you results in the gym is the basics. There are just 7 fundamental movement patterns that you need to prioritize in the gym: a squat, a lunge, a hinge, push, pull, rotation, and carry. All good programs will include these 7 functional movement patterns. I include them in all of my strength-based training programs inside the Women's Health Movement app. Number 6, stop falling into the comparison trap. Whether that's to someone else or your previous self, neither is helpful. Honestly, this is one of the biggest mindset traps that a lot of clients fall into when they come into coaching. Sometimes it's looking around at the gym and seeing someone else and asking, why don't I look like her? Other times it could be looking back at old previous photos and thinking, I used to look better, I used to be stronger, and I was so much fitter then. If we were dictating progress off being lean and fit and in the best shape of your life by society's standards, I would be out of shape. I know there was a season of my life where I was competing. I was incredibly lean. I had a lot of compliments coming in on the daily. Obviously, society rewards that. But I was eating the calories of a toddler because that's what's required to maintain a really lean physique. And it was so unhealthy and unsustainable. I knew it at the time as well. But sometimes the healthiest version of yourself is not the leanest version of yourself. So really being able to know what progress looks like, what are the goals I should have, and how do I have different seasons? Like, it's not always just about being the smallest version of yourself, because if you can't see your progress, well, you might as well not actually make it. You're not meant to repeat old seasons. You're meant to evolve through them. If you found this helpful, go check out my other videos in my How to Gym series, where I break down all the things that no one actually teaches you, but everyone expects you to know.